Hey everyone, it's Brandon Smith here with another segment of Meet Your City Employee. We've been overdue for one of these, so I brought in big time here, Mr. Eric Hempy. How
Hello.
you doing, Eric?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good. Eric, where are you from originally?
Like where I grew up, or where was I born?
Give me both.
I was born in Tupelo, Mississippi, but I lived in Ohio, I lived in Pennsylvania, I lived in Raleigh,
Okay, so
South Carolina, well, in Columbia, Greenwood.
was your dad or mom in the military? You just moved
My
around.
Dad was a salesman,
Gotcha.
so he was a traveling salesman, I guess is an old saying.
Gotcha. What brought you to South Carolina?
I went to school in South Carolina, where I met my lovely wife there. She's an attorney there. Well, went to law school there, and I went to college there, and then we moved from there to Greenville.
Right. And of course, you're a household name with Gamecock fans, but tell us a little bit about your college experience.
That's right. I played baseball at South Carolina. Ended up getting drafted by the Cubs. Played there for a couple years, and lo and behold, you get an arm injury like any other pitcher, and then you're scrub and a has-been.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you're looking for another career.
But you could hit too. I mean, it wasn't just pitching, right?
All I did was pitch. I wasn't
I
allowed
thought I remembered you dropping some bombs. Am I
In
wrong?
high school, I did.
Okay.
But I wasn't allowed to hit. They didn't allow the two-way thing. Wasn't a big
Yeah.
ordeal yet. It was
Gotcha.
more one-way players.
Gotcha. What was? I mean, what was your pitch? Were you throwing heat or you
I had
breaking
a little bit,
stuff?
I had a little bit of both. I had a decent curveball, and I'd get it up there mid-90s.
So if you weren't into hitting, I'm assuming you're not out there on the softball field much.
I tried to play softball one time, and I can't throw it. I can't get my grip right. It seems like it's going to fly out of my hand every time I try to throw it. So it aggravates me.
And I actually met you, I think, many years ago through your wife, right? Yeah, I worked with her at Turner Paget many years ago, and so she brought you back to the Lakelands, huh?
She brought me back to Abbeville, her hometown.
Right.
So, but we've enjoyed it.
Y'all live in Abbeville?
Yeah, we do. We live in Abbeville.
All right, let me make a note of that. We'll work on you, get you over here to Greenwood.
We're trying. We need a bigger house.
And y'all have some children?
Yes, we've got a 4-year-old girl named Claire. She's a sweetheart. And then was it 2000? I guess it's been almost 2 years. In October 30th, we had twins, a boy and a girl.
Wow. How's life now?
I'll tell you, I don't remember anything for the first probably year. I would say 11 months. And now it's finally slowing down, and they're fun and growing up, and it's just something about when they do nothing but go to the bathroom, eat and sleep. They just don't feel like humans.
I've been there.
But now they do.
I've been there.
So
I
it's getting a lot
understand.
better. It's a lot of sleepless nights. So I think we're going to probably take the next 5 years and try to recover on
Good luck.
sleep over the last year we've missed.
Good luck.
So
Well, how long you been with the city of Greenwood?
I think it's going on 6 years.
Okay.
I don't remember a definite hire date.
And what's your job title?
I'm a senior master patrolman. You know, you start out as just a master patrolman, then you get patrolman first class, and then master patrolman, senior master patrolman, sergeant, then lieutenant, and then captain, majors. And each one comes with a certain amount of years of tenure. And then after that, you kind of start out, you work the road. If you get a chance, you can do detectives. If you wanted to do the detectives or traffic units, there's a bunch of different branches of the police department that you can work in if you chose to do so through
Right.
an interview process, and you're qualified throughout the years, depending on what the policy says about if you're qualified for the time length you've been here or something like that.
Sure. And what was the training that you received for your job?
Well, when I was going, it seemed like everybody wanted to be a policeman that year, and it's gotten a lot better between us and SLED going to the academy. It took some time between then and you are considered a khaki where you ride in a vehicle and just observe the police officers. And I swear I did that. It felt like for 6 or 7 months. I don't remember exactly how long, but it felt like forever. It's a different experience because you're trying to learn the ways of the law, and what they have to deal with, and whether you kind of really want to do it or not, because you got a contingency of a job offer at that time. But you're in that khaki outfit, and when you get out with people and they want to know who you are, and
Sure.
if you're the dog catcher or the exterminator, is always somebody's joke.
Did you go to the police academy here in Greenwood, or were you a police officer before you came to Greenwood?
No, I wasn't a police officer. You know, being in the team mentality, that's what law enforcement is. You always strive to have a good team, have a good department. In law enforcement, I mean, it's a brotherhood. It's like any sport.
Sure.
You got your team. So that's really what appealed to me, and I'm sure that's what appeals to a bunch of people, just knowing that people got your back and you can go to them if you need something.
Sure.
But they send you to the academy. I went from the khakis to the academy, and it's a 12-week process at the academy. And then you get your graduation date, and you come back here, and you got to go through the training, the PTO program that we've got here. We've done some modifications with it to ensure that the hirees are able to know what, you know, the 10 codes are here, so we can communicate on the radio to department policies, to just different calls and scenarios. The academy teaches you a lot of the basics, but you really don't get the gist of it until you've probably been here for 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Because there's a lot of things that they teach you at the academy law-wise that you got to figure out how you can work that into applying it when you're out actually on the streets.
Sure.
So that's probably the most difficult thing that people would struggle with. At least I did, trying to figure out how to do that. But,
What's the most rewarding part of your job, would you say?
When you finally find that one person you get to help, there's a lot of cases, you know, where you deal with the same population for an extended period of time, and you don't get to help as many people as you think that you're going to help. And then when you finally get that one, it's a great joy to be able to help somebody and to make sure that, you know, the community's safe if you can do something along those lines, meet kids, you know, just hang out with people that seem to not really have a good face growing up for the police. And then when they realize you're a good person and you see that you've registered with them, that's a good joy that you get with this job. But all around, it's been a great experience.
That's good. Well, one final question. If you were a biscuit, what kind of biscuit would you be?
I would be a steak, egg, and cheese biscuit from Bojangles.
Wow.
With a little bit of hot sauce.
There's no hesitation in that answer
That is
whatsoever.
seasoned fries, and don't forget about the sweet potato pie.
Well, Eric, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for serving Greenwood. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.